Regenerative living, we think regenerate, right? Regenerate the soil, regenerate the planet, regenerate people, and have food for many, many years to come.
Hey everyone, it's Javier, and today we're down in Lothian, Maryland at Honey's Harvest Farm. Now, Honey's Harvest Farm is a diversified farm that specializes in producing nutrient-dense and medicinal quality foods and herbs. So I wanted to take a visit down today to learn a little bit more about what really makes nutrient-dense food, how the soil affects the nutrient quality of the food, and what we can do to get better nutrition in our own lives. I realized that there's a big disconnect among the fitness community about healthy eating habits and understanding how that is impacted by the environment that we live in. So today they're actually going to be doing a sweet potato harvest. So I hope to pick up some good tips about what makes the best sweet potatoes and actually how I can grow some better sweet potatoes on my own. So let's check it out.
My name is Anna. We are a regenerative agriculture farm, which means we practice making the soil alive. That is the essence of what we do here at Honey's Harvest Farm. History, it was a tobacco farm. It was grown conventionally. The persons who grew tobacco here have passed from cancer. The gentleman who flew the airplanes was right through the woods here, Mr. McElveen. He flew the airplanes that crop dusted. They dusted the crops with Agent Orange. And so then the people harvested the tobacco, dried the tobacco, sold it to the cigarette companies, and then someone smoked it. So you can see that it probably wasn't about the plant. It might have been about the growing methods. Regenerative agriculture is a solution not only to health and well-being for the planet, but for humans, but it's also extraordinarily important for the regeneration of the future land. And when we think that way, we can make a big difference. We've had many experiences over the years to teach us why we don't grow things the way I was taught when I was growing up on a farm. To use my bare hands at 5 years old and reach into a bag of 10-10-10 that has fertilizer, pesticide, herbicide, and throw it out onto the row of gardens. So no, we don't do that. Why? Because these things are salt-based. So if I were to put that out on the soil today, what would happen? You just killed the life in the soil with your chemicals that are supposed to help the plant. So you have created an ongoing cycle. When we remember that nature knows exactly what she's doing, those trees out there that grow perfectly, they create food for us, black walnuts and pawpaws and persimmons, naturally, without any herbicide, pesticide, or chemical treatment ever. So if that's true, then why can't we do that with the food that we eat? Why on earth would a plant put sugar into the soil? The plant has roots that cannot get into the crystalline substances in the soil, such as the silt, the clay, the rock. All the minerals are located. These are vital to the plant's existence. The plants feed the microbes in the microbes in the soil feed the plants back. And those microorganisms poop out the nutrients, which are then bioavailable to the plants. So they have a synergistic relationship.
These over here are the compost windrows. That's where they primarily produce the living soil, so that you have that biological activity in the soil when the plants are growing, and that allows them to get the nutrients that they need and to grow strong and vigorous. I think one of the most important things to take away from compost is that all of the things that we consider to be waste, that's actually nutrition and resources if we allow it to break down and to go back into the soil. Think about that next time that you are just throwing food scraps away. You can turn that back into a valuable resource.
What we love about sweet potatoes, and especially the Stokes Purple, they are eaten widely in blue zones. This Stokes Purple happens to be really high in anthocyanins, and we know that those little phytochemicals are super good for heart health. The average sweet potato plant in a commercial operation will grow up to 2 pounds. Our potato plants are getting anywhere from 8 to 50 pounds per plant. The average is about 15 to 25. When you're about to cure your potatoes, if you do have any vines, you want to go ahead and cut those off. That will keep them from continuing to grow. So it can give all of its energy to turning the starches to sugars in your potato. 80% humidity and 80 degrees is what they love.
Do you have any suggestions for growing sweet potatoes like in a small area? Like how to get the most yield out of that?
Yes, I would go with the largest container you can find and fill it with the living soil. And then you can just plant, a singular plant, and you'll get so many potatoes out of it.
Better to do less than try to fit too many in one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So everything that I cook is either grown here on the farm, and we grow everything in living soil. And then I also make sure I source any meat, dairy, everything is from local farms. We know the animals, we know how they're treated, we know that they're not vaccinated, that they don't have chemicals in their food. So we really vet like everything. It's always seasonal, it's always local, and it's always the best. You can heal yourself naturally from anything, and we really believe that here. I do think in the fitness community, there's like, you look amazing, but there's a lot of like digestive issues. There's a lot of like maybe skin issues.
I had this bad eczema on my hands until I started to identify like which foods were triggering certain issues and make my joints all achy and stuff. So it was a process.
You're counting your macros and things like that, you can still eat things like refined sugar as long as it's in your macros. So and that's not, actually fueling your body. You're not going to feel amazing. We're definitely all about feeling amazing and healing ingredients. So you can have your brownies and your cookies and your cake and your cheeseburger, but if you make it with the highest quality ingredients possible, you're not going to have all that inflammation in your body.
Because I do amateur bodybuilding, and I can eat all of this stuff, probably in excess, and it doesn't really upset my stomach. It doesn't make my weight fluctuate the way if I eat a Reese's peanut butter cup or a regular old cookie does.
I've been telling people this, but it takes a while to get the message across.
Until you try it yourself, you don't know the difference. You don't know what you don't know. I still function. I can still hit my PRs. I can still lift the weights. But until I start eating the better foods, I don't realize how much better I feel lifting the weights and hitting my PRs.
I don't have the same types of cravings when I have stuff like this. That's kind of like a whole food, whereas just isolated ingredients, I never feel really satisfied. So
Well, I always say refined sugar is literally as addictive as like cocaine. What it does to our brain is the same exact thing. So it's so addictive. And then everything that's being added to processed foods, the flavorings and just the chemicals and the colorings, make it so addictive to the body that our body is just craving it. And it doesn't need it.
First off, I just wanted to give a big thanks to Anna at Honey's Harvest Farm. We had a great time on the tour. We learned a lot, and it's great to see businesses like yours practicing regenerative agriculture, and more importantly, educating the community and getting the word out there. I think that's one of the most important things that we can focus on now and in the future as well. Were there any things that you took away from the tour? Any favorite things that you learned?
Well, that I learned, yes, absolutely. My favorite thing absolutely was actually the blondie, which we forgot to film because I ate it too fast. And that was really good because surprisingly, it was very nourishing, which is not something that you usually connect with like a dessert. And my favorite part that was also that like it didn't make me feel empalaga, so that was really good. But overall, I guess just like seeing those giant sweet potatoes was very shocking.
Oh yeah. So. Now I have like a much better, I tried growing sweet potatoes for the first time this year, and they were definitely mostly on the smaller side, but now I have like a much bigger understanding of how to really prepare a site to get the best yield of sweet potatoes, because they had some that were like close to 10 pounds for a single
it
sweet
was like
potato,
that big one was 10 pounds. We hope this video shines some light on why we should treat our land better and how that results in higher quality nutrition.
Yeah, because for me, the important thing to realize is that our health is directly tied to the environment, and those two things can never be separated. So we'd love to hear if you have any questions or comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.